16. I'm a food writer, food enthusiast, not a chef, and today we're going to be making sourdough cinnamon rolls using King Arthur Flour's recipe. So let's dive right in. First things first, we need to make the dough. I have measured out all of the ingredients already. Let's start with the sourdough starter. This is what it's all about. This recipe calls for 1 cup of fed sourdough starter. I'll make a separate video explaining what that means. We're gonna scrape it into the bowl. Ooh, what a satisfying plop. Next thing going in the bowl is 3/4 a cup of milk. We're using almond milk because I don't really drink regular milk. Lukewarm, it's going in the bowl. Next, the recipe calls for 1 large egg. These are expensive. Is this 4 tablespoons of butter? Mm-hmm. So next, 4 tablespoons of butter. There she goes. All right, next we're gonna put in our sugar, 1/4 cup sugar. Get it in there. Finally, we're gonna add the flour. This is a mixture of flour. We have 1/2 cup white whole wheat, and the rest is all-purpose to make a total of 3 1/4 cup of flour mixture. I'll also just link the recipe in the description. Dust cloud. So now that we have all of our ingredients in the mixer, we're gonna mix it for 2 to 3 minutes on low speed until it becomes a mass. All right, I'm gonna pause for a second and we're gonna kind of scrape in the sides here.
There we go.
All right. Back on. The thing about these cinnamon rolls is that they're nice and fluffy. Nobody wants a dry cinnamon roll. If there's a part of an edge of the cinnamon roll that doesn't have icing on it, you don't want it to be dry. Take all the moisture out of your mouth, ruin the mouthfeel. Nobody wants that. These cinnamon rolls, they're not like that. They're moist throughout, and the icing is just like literally just the icing on the metaphorical cake. But in this case, we're talking about a cinnamon roll. Okay, so we're done mixing for right now. We're going to pour in our salt and yeast mixture, which is 1 teaspoon salt and 1 1/4 teaspoon of yeast. And then we're gonna let this sit for 20 minutes. And during that time, an autolyse is going to occur, which is basically, as I understand it, enzymes in the flour breaking down proteins that will improve elasticity later on. Here's the mixture of salt and yeast. We're gonna pour that in, just sort of on top, pouring it around, sprinkling it around. There we go. And then we're gonna cover this, cover that up, and now we're gonna let the autolyse happen. This has been sitting for 20 minutes. It's very important to have a cat on the table for this part of the recipe. We're gonna plop this back in here. We're going to mix it for 1 minute on low, and then we're going to turn it up a notch and let it mix for 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, it's been a minute. We're turning it up a notch. Time has come. Once we get our dough in our bowl, we're gonna let it rise. Normally it would take 4 hours, but we have a proofer, so it's gonna take less time than that. Ooh. It's going in the proofer. All right. Hi, everybody. It's been like 2.5 hours. Welcome back. The dough has been proofing. She hath risen. she's ready to work with. We're gonna roll it out. We're gonna turn it into a rectangle. I've got my favorite rolling mat here to just make my life a whole lot easier. And we're gonna get this done because I'm ready to eat some cinnamon rolls tomorrow in the morning with my breakfast and my coffee in my PJs. I'm also gonna flour my hands because it's a little sticky. Oh. Is this the best way? Maybe not, but it seems fun. So, ooh. So while it was proofing, we stretched the dough once every hour. Just kind of lift it up, slam it down, lift it up, slam. Ooh, look at that. That's fluffy dough. It feels good. The recipe says you can roll it or pat it. I'm gonna do a little bit of both. Basically, you just want it to deflate and end up being a rectangle that's the right size, 14 by 20. Just getting it nice and floury so we don't get any stickage. And then let's start rolling. That's good. I think that looks good. I think we're ready to move on to the next step. Okay, so now that we have rolled our dough into a shape that is vaguely rectangular, we're going to spread our sugar, flour, cinnamon, butter mixture over this, leaving half an inch of blank space on one of the short ends. Let's get to it. And make sure to watch to the end of this video when I'm gonna do the cinnamon challenge. We're bringing it back. Everybody's favorite trend from whatever year that was. TikTok? Okay, it's time to roll. This is the exciting and scary part, but I'm ready to be exhilarated. I'm gonna flour my hands a little bit just for good measure, and I'm gonna roll towards the edge that we left with no cinnamon sugar on it. I'm gonna try to keep it as tight as possible while I roll. And as I roll, it's gonna get longer. It's gonna go from 14 inches to 18 inches. That's what we want. Now that we have it all nice and rolled into this just exquisite log, we are going to cut it with our bench scraper into 1.5 inch slices. And then we're gonna put it into this greased dish where they will rest overnight, and then we will eat them in the morning. Cut and put them in there. Look at that one. I feel good about that.
Hold it up higher.
Here we go. Look at this. These are cinnamon rolls. Well, they will be soon. We are gonna let them sit overnight. We're gonna cover them. We're gonna put them in the fridge. And then in the morning, we're gonna wake up and we're gonna bake them and make some frosting quick, and we're gonna have some delicious cinnamon rolls. It's very exciting. I'm thrilled. Hi, good morning. Here's what our cinnamon rolls look like now. They are a tad overproofed. And what that means is that after we shut the camera off last night, we found a channel on our TV that plays only old episodes of The Price is Right during the Barker era, and we got distracted and let them sit out too long before putting them in the fridge. So they inflated a lot and then deflated a little bit. But hopefully they're still gonna be good. We've preheated the oven to 400 degrees. That was the beeping that you might have just heard. We're gonna pop them in there, we're gonna make some icing, we're gonna eat some cinnamon rolls. This is the exciting part. They look great, they're swimming in a beautiful sea of icing, and it's time to party. I've got my coffee, and I'm ready to dig in. I've kind of got my eye on this guy right here. Ooh! Okay. Take a bite. Oh, here we go. That's the right way to wake up. Soft. Lots of cinnamon layers. Dough is so fluffy. That's the breakfast of champions. We did it. Bye.